Is
good.
it?
It's you know, it's just it's nice to see so much creativity going into you know, people celebrating what they want to do.
Was one of them like really like you? Like, did you look at one where like, oh wow, that dude nailed it?
Yeah, there was one like people put a lot of effort into it. Really
Schwer soweit.
Yeah.
Okay, gut. Dann starten wir die Aufnahme. Das Ding ist aus. Kamera läuft. Kamera läuft auch.
Who's timing this? Well, we got 15 minutes.
Yeah, if that's all right.
Gold.
Cool.
Okay, wir laufen.
Wonderful. All right, you ready? Yes, always ready. Now we're here to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. So we have a lot of different generations coming together celebrating this show, this series, this movie. And you're part of it. Now, what was your first experience with Star Trek? I mean, when it launched, when it came out, you weren't even born yet. When was the first meeting point?
I think for me would be back home in New Zealand, watching Star Trek, the reruns. I remember watching that on a Saturday morning, and I was always drawn to it. I really enjoyed the characters and the way that they would interact. I love the science fiction. I love the scarier episodes. And I like to see how these characters who didn't necessarily always get along with each other have to learn to work together in order to sort of defeat a common adversary. And it was fun, it was sexy, it was it was a great show.
What do you think makes the show so appealing for such great masses?
I think one of the enduring, appealing aspects about Star Trek is it presents a vision of humanity that is at its best. It's moved beyond barbaric warring and has really kind of joined together in unity to explore the universe. It's a very hopeful and optimistic vision of the future, and I think that's one of its enduring appeals.
Now, I mean, you're the newer generation of Star Trek now. You're playing in the new movie, so you're also like drawing in a new generation. Do you feel like that brings along like responsibility for you of some sort?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I really feel that, I mean, it's, I guess the responsibility is to, not only in some way, shape or form, honour the legacy of what's come before, but also, I guess, cater for a new audience and to make sure that, it is appealing to today and relevant to today. And I think that's the huge challenge with Star Trek going forward.
Now, looking at the show as it is now, what do you think?
Which show?
The new movies coming out and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
How do you think that it changed? Do you feel like it still has the same feel as from Star Trek back in the days, or do you feel it actually like developed to something a little bit different?
I think all the Star Treks are different. I think the original series is different than Next Gen to Voyager to the original cast movies. 2 hours. They're each in their own little way, a little bit different. I think fundamentally at their core, they're all the same. They're morality plays. When Roddenberry created it back in the 60s, he was really kind of, looking to do something like a Western with like a wagon train to the stars. And in its essence and its very spirit, I think that legacy's continued.
Now, how was it for you, as one of the new cast members, to meet the old cast members like William Shatner?
Pretty amazing. I mean, not only that, to actually have to get to not only meet them, but work with someone like Mr. Leonard Nimoy was an incredible experience. And I mean, they're icons. And I remember watching Mr. Nimoy don the ears and become Spock for the first time in 16 years, and I was there that day, and it was surreal and amazing.
That sounds very memorable, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, Star Trek has become some kind of role model for like technological inventions. How apt is that for the future from here? Like, do you think stuff we can see in the show, in the series, in the movies, that's something we can actually expect from the future here as well?
Well, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, many of the devices that were in the original series back in the 60s, in some way, shape, or form, have, in a way, kind of come to fruition. I mean, a little communicator device, little flip thing. In some ways, we've superseded that. you know, medically, there's all sorts of really interesting developments that are right in line with what was envisioned back in the 60s.
So now, if the holodeck would be real, and you would have a chance there, what would you create? Is there anything, have you ever thought of that?
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, you could essentially be a time traveler. What would I create? I don't know. That's perhaps I would go to some of the great rock concerts that I have missed.
Which one would that be?
Well, there's a few. You know, you could travel back in time. Go to Woodstock. Go see Zeppelin play. I mean, you know, take your pick. Isle of Wight.
All right, so I take it you're into music then, and we also saw you in video games with Judge Dredd. Are you playing video games at all, or?
Yeah, not so much. I don't play a lot of video games. I enjoy occasionally playing some with my son.
What were you playing then?
Oh, just play. All sorts.
Okay, whatever he plays,
yeah.
you're playing it. Wonderful. Yeah. Now, looking again into the future, what do you think the technology would be like there?